I'll first of all call on the chairman of NARI, the Major General retired Joe Singh, to give the opening remarks. Chairman.
I see Joe, but I didn't realize it was Joe.
Thank you very much. Honorable Minister, Honorable Ministers, Honorable Minister Mustapha and staff of the ministry, Honorable High Commissioner and staff of the High Commission, our colleagues from Terry, who have been in partnership with the Ministry of Agriculture, Government of Guyana, on behalf of the Government of India. All protocols acknowledged. Good morning, everyone, and thank you very much for being here at this opening ceremony of this very important facility. Knowing that the media will be accompanying the Honourable Minister and his team on the visit here today, I took the liberty of coming here last Friday in order to get myself oriented towards not only here but also the ant bait facility and the vermicomposting facility which Honourable Minister opened a week or so ago. And I want to tell you that I feel very proud, not only as chairman of the board of NARI, whom I represent here with my other colleagues, but as a Guyanese, to see this great leap forward that is manifested in what we have here today. And I urge those who will be working here in this lab to see it for what it is, an instrument, not just to satisfy our own research, our own research ambitions, but to see it as a means of delivery to our farmers, medium, small, and large, the quality of plant materials that will be transformational in terms of what we expect based on the direction which has been given by His Excellency the President and in his deliberations with our farmers, our Honourable Minister and his team. I want to recognize also the support we've had from the IDB, from ICA, from CARDI, and from all of the agencies located in Guyana to thank you. One of the things which I've been discussing with our scientists is the resuscitation of the National Science Research Council. We have many scientists in Guyana. Our work needs to be coordinated. We need to share our expertise. We need to communicate more regularly. We need to ensure that the equipment that we have are not just to serve a particular institution, but that it will be used wisely and widely to be able to provide those outcomes that will help to see agriculture transform. So on behalf of the Board of Directors of NARI, on behalf of the administration of NARI, I want to express our appreciation to you, Honourable Minister, for the leadership and guidance which you've been giving, and also through you to His Excellency the President, who I understand is away, but I'm sure will be taking a deep interest in how this is going to be transformational. So thank you all and have a good day and enjoy the proceedings. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chair. The first item on the program, and I guess when I was approached for this person to say the little plant, I remember some 50 years ago, in the heart of a seed. Dalia Devi Dani, the daughter of one of the staff of NARI, would be saying the poem, The Little Plant.
My name is Dalia Dani, and my poem is The Little Plant. In the heart of a seed, buried so deep, a dear little plant lay fast asleep. Wakes at the sunshine, creep to the light, wakes at the voice of the raindrop bright. The little plant heard and rose to see what a wonderful outside world might be.
Thank you very much. That was done very by little Nadia. First of all, we have the scientists from the biotech department, the head of that department, Ms. Samantha Weaver.
Honorable Zulfikar Mustapha, Minister of Agriculture. Honorable Vikash Ram Kisoon, Minister within the Ministry of Agriculture. The Director General, Mr. Dinshwar Dinarain. Our esteemed partners from the Terry of India, Dr. Rao and Mr. Vijay Shankar Thakur. Our representatives from the Indian High Commission, Ms. Manish Kumar and Ms. Singh. The Major General Retired, Mr. Joseph Singh, Chairman of NARI Board, our members of our Board of Directors. I see the PS of Agriculture, Ms. Alice is here. And all distinguished guests, Dr. Charles from the University of Guyana, Mr. Mark Lopez, Dr. Garnett from NICA, our staff from NARI, our head of department, our other heads of department, the other agencies, and the representatives of the Ministry of Agriculture. Good morning. It is truly a privilege to stand before you today as we mark a momentous milestone in Guyana's agricultural journey, the official commissioning of the new biotechnology plant tissue culture laboratory at the National Agricultural Research and Extension Institute. The growth of the world's population continues at an exponential rate. As this growth accelerates, access to elite germplasm, the foundation of increasing food production, becomes ever more vital to ensuring food security. Biotechnology provides us with the modern tools needed to meet this challenge. Through tissue culture, we can clonally propagate economically important crops and supply clean, disease-free, and high-quality plantlets to our farmers and researchers. Traditionally, the tissue culture facility at NARI has functioned primarily as a research laboratory, developing micropropagation protocols for crops such as plantain, banana, pineapple, sweet potato, cassava, strawberry, breadfruits, and more recently, sugarcane, with an annual capacity of 20,000 plantlets. Over the years, as the demand for tissue culture plantlets increased, it became clear that we needed to expand beyond research into large-scale production to better serve our farmers, strengthen national food systems, and advance agricultural innovation. A major step forward was achieved through the agreement between the Government of Guyana, represented by the Ministry of Agriculture, and Terry of India, also with our collaborations with the International Development Bank. This collaboration has not only strengthened the long-standing bond between the two nations, but has also laid foundation for a modern facility that will propel us for the use of biotechnology to greater heights in Guyana. Today, I am proud to announce that this new facility builds on that foundation with advanced protocols, including meristem culture, regeneration protocols, embryogenesis, in vitro rooting and acclimatization techniques that will ensure strong and viable plantlets are ready for field conditions, and importantly, a gene bank maintenance protocol to safeguard the genetic diversity of our nation's most valuable crops. Together, these protocols represent the future of plant science and agricultural biotechnology in Guyana. They will transform the way we propagate, conserve, and enhance our nation's most vital crops, paving the way for innovation, resilience, and growth. This initiative aligns with the international findings that recognizes Guyana as the only self-sufficient nation capable of fully feeding itself from its lands and rivers, a distinction that speaks volumes about our country's agricultural strength and natural potential. Under the visionary leadership of His Excellency President Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali, the government continues to champion both food security, and climate action. The President has consistently emphasized the importance of diversifying agriculture and investing in sustainable, science-driven practices to ensure a food-secure future for generations to come. Minister Mustapha has continued to reaffirm that Guyana is poised to become a key distribution point in the Caribbean, supplying a range of agricultural products to CARICOM member states and helping to achieve the regional target of reducing the food import bill by 25% by 2025, with continued advancements towards 2030. At this juncture, I would like to take a moment to recognize the outstanding leadership and unwavering support of Mr. Jagnarine Singh, the Chief Executive Officer of NARI. Mr. Singh's vision, dedication, and steadfast support has been instrumental in bringing this project to fruition. His leadership continues to inspire excellence within NARI and across the agriculture sector. Through his commitment to technology and development, this laboratory stands today as a symbol of progress and transformation. The establishment of this laboratory with an annual production capacity of 1 million plantlets marks a transformative moment in Guyana's agricultural sector. It symbolizes progress and a spirit of collaboration that drives national development. Biotechnology will play a pivotal role in taking Guyana's agriculture through new biological pathways, expanding genetic diversity, strengthening our gene banks, and creating new opportunities for innovation and growth. Today's commissioning is not just an opening of a facility, it's the opening of possibilities. It stands as a testament to what we can achieve through partnership, vision, and science. As we look to the future, let us remember that every plant that produced here represents more than just a scientific success. It represents hope for our farmers, sustainability for our environment, prosperity for our nation, and food security for our Guyana and the Caribbean region. Together, we are advancing the vision of transforming lives through agri-food systems. I thank you.
All right, I was standing in for the chair lady, she's here. But before I hand over to her, I just want to say that this lab, the pisciculture lab, would have started with some funding of a contract. I think the first contract was from the ministry through the IDB, $179 million for the building. Then we had another contract with the TERI, the Energy Resource Institute of India, for 1.07 million US for the equipment, and the rest with NARI funding from the ministry. I guess we would have started this whole facility. So now I'll ask my exit and allow the chair to take over. Mr. Rao is the next person on the program.
So this is no excuse, but if you ever try to come up here at 9 o'clock in the morning with the 30 to 40,000 new vehicles that they have, and then you finally make it to the traffic light and you're like, yes, I'm here. And then you take about 10 minutes just to get to the light, only to have it turn red. And then you're like, oh, you know what? Let Jesus take the wheel, because it was just so shocking. But I say all of that to say that that's just a sign of progress. Inconvenience is usually the price you pay for progress. And I am especially here today to celebrate the progression of yet something so monumental that is just auguring well for our agricultural sector, and more importantly for the youths who are going to come up in this sector. Something that before, when you heard of farming or anything related to farming, it was just this like low caste kind of thing. But now the world is just embracing farming and anything related to food security and agriculture. So I'm very excited to be here and to introduce to you our next speaker. Dr. G. Rudra Narasimha Rao. What is it? I call your name right? He is the director of the Energy and Resources Institute called TERI in Guyana, where he's actively involved in development initiatives. With over 30 years of experience in consulting across international, multidisciplinary, and multilingual settings, Dr. Rao has been associated with TERI since 1996. And please help me to welcome him to give us some brief remarks, Dr. Rao.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of TERI, everyone at TERI India, it is my great pleasure to extend a warm and heartfelt welcome to our distinguished guest, the Honorable Minister of Agriculture, Mr. Zulfikar Mustapha, and Ministry within the Ministry of Agriculture, Mr. Vikas Ram Kisoon, and Ms. Larona Salara, Country Representative IDB in Guyana, Mr. Manoj Kumar, a Councillor at the Indian High Commission to India, to Guyana, Mr. Jagnaran Singh, CEO NARI, the TERI Board of Directors, members of the Board of Directors of NARI, and the research staff at NARI, and Ms. Samantha, Head Tissue Culture Facility, and the students who are present today. We are honored to present your presence here at the commissioning of the Plant Tissue Culture Lab at NARI campus for the Guyana's agricultural sector. Your participation today underscores our joint commitment to fostering the sustainability and the innovation in agriculture. The collaboration between the government of Guyana and TERI in the agriculture sector was initiated during the visit of Honorable Vice President Dr. Bharat Jagdev to India in early 2023 through the signing of an MOU. And during this engagement, the establishment of Plant Tissue Culture Laboratory was identified as a key priority. TERI bringing to this initiative over 5 decades of experience in operating the commercial scale plant tissue culture laboratory in India. The plant tissue culture laboratories play a vital role in agricultural advancement by enabling the large scale production of disease-free, high quality plants through micropropagation. This technique allows for the rapid multiplication of uniform and desirable plant varieties, thereby contributing to food security, improved crop yields, and the development of climate resilient crops. The capacity of the NARI tissue culture facility in Guyana is an annual production capacity of 1 million plantlets. In plant tissue culture, maintaining the sterilized condition to prevent the contamination is the most critical initial step. And in addition, the nutrients and the culture processing conducts in a strictly controlled environment. The culture has been then produced into the growth rooms with the regulated light, temperature, and humidity controls to promote optimal cell growth, and these control conditions are maintained through a carefully designed heating and ventilation systems, the modeling of airflow rates, and the selection of appropriate equipment. As considerable time it has taken in designing, particularly to integrate the advanced controls into the new tissue culture facility. While the project has faced delays due to the shipment, but dedicated teams have been working tediously over the last 8 months, and the laboratory is now scheduled to become a fully operational from December 2025. The laboratory will focus initially on key Guyanese crops, citrus, pineapple, plantain, breadfruit, and strawberry, along with important vegetable crops like tomato and potato. The facility can play a key role in enabling the GAISCO to have a high quality sugarcane samplings. The initiative will lead to a high value varieties of indigenous forest medicinal plants, aiming to bolster the pharmaceutical industry. In the long term, the facility can also facilitate and support development of a commercial scale oil palm industry in Guyana. We are deeply grateful to the government of Guyana, especially His Excellency President Dr. Irfan Ali and the Honorable Vice President and the Ministers of Agriculture for their unwavering encouragement and support in delivering innovation and technology towards the agricultural sector. And a special note of appreciation is extended to Dr. Vibha Dhawan, Director General TERI, whose visionary leadership and guidance and support as instrumental in introduction and advancement of this plant tissue culture facility. We also sincerely thank the High Commission of Guyana in India, the Indian High Commission in Guyana, and Mr. Sham Nokta, Presidential Advisor on Climate Change and Biodiversity, the executives of Ministry of Agriculture, mainly the engineering team, Mr. Alvin, and the Ministry of External Affairs, and the plant equipment suppliers from Guyana, India, and European Union. The commissioned tissue culture plant laboratory is built to the international standards and is set to open a new collaboration of regional and global research collaboration. The state-of-art facility aligns with the government of Guyana's vision to establishment of International Center for Biodiversity under the Guyana's Low Carbon Development Strategy 2030. TERI's collaboration with the government of Guyana represents a significant step towards translating this vision into reality. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Rao. From everything that he said, I guess we can just summarize that by saying that this commissioning really poises us to transform planting material supply in this country, and I think it can only augur well to enhance our agroeconomic competitiveness. I am especially excited to welcome our next speaker. I have known her for a really long time. And whenever I think of the weight behind some of our major developmental projects in the last few years, I always see her there. She has such a passion for the development of this country. Miss Lorena Sarazano Salazar, IDB's representative to Guyana. Since April 1st, 2023, Ms. Salazar has been here working very closely with the private sector and with the government to develop many important ventures. She holds a master's degree in business administration from the IDE Business School, a degree in business engineering from, I always pronounce this wrong, Espiritu Santo University in Guayaquil, Ecuador. Lorena, I'm so happy to see you here, and I welcome you to give your brief remarks.
Good morning, everybody. It's happy to be in this sunny day here, because this is the environment that each one and everyone at the farm in agricultural the farmers face. So it is lovely to be here today. So I appreciate for Minister Zulfikar Mustapha to allow us to be part of this process. Also for the NARI CEO, Mr. Jagnarayan Singh, it is a pleasure to be here today in this commissioning. And it's the seed, and as the seed and the biotechnology is a pleasure to work together with different stakeholders to in this ecosystem. And it's a strategic advancement in science, technology, and innovation for Guyana. And for Guyana and for the future agricultural farmers and kids like Dalia that just give us the plant poem to think about that what we are here today and what the government in Guyana is building today is not for us, it's for the future, for the kids that like Daila, right? So it is a bold step towards improvement, productivity, and ensuring the food security for generations to come. I'm here to representing the Inter-American Development Bank Group, and we are proud to support the agricultural projects and through the Sustainable Agricultural Development Project. So we have been working together in that data collection, monitoring, and for the Food Security Authority, rehabilitation of the soil lab, and all together extension services. So this is great and seen not just on one isolated process, is the comprehensive work at the Ministry of Agriculture is doing in the ecosystem for research and innovation, and to unlocking the power of biotechnology. In my previous works, when I was starting my professional life, I used to work in a trade and a company in the banana plantation. And from the private sector, they were doing all the cutting edge technology. And I'm very happy to see here in Guyana, it's not just the private sector, but the public sector is leading and the road and the pathway for the future in agriculture. The tissue cell culture techniques, this laboratory will enable the production of high quality, disease-free planting materials Farmers will benefit from improving crop yields, reduce vulnerability to pests and diseases. And we have seen natural disasters and happening, and the crops have been affected. So these facilities helps also to move ahead of those crises. Additionally, this innovation opens the door for the diversification of the economy, creating opportunities for high-value and export-oriented crops. Ultimately, the laboratory will strengthen the food security, resilience, and the sustainability within the Guyana agricultural system. Furthermore, the private sector also will benefit and can play a key role in scaling up technologies, integrating innovation, and ensuring commercial production and distribution of tissue culture plankton. This, when research, businesses, and policy move together, it will flourish the economy of a country. So it is a great pleasure seeing also other stakeholders being involved, like the university and research centers, and also the youth, entrepreneurs, the academia, to build vibrant, innovative ecosystem where locals' talents can thrive and benefit from scientific progress. Today, the commission reflects Guyana's commitment to build the knowledge base. So on behalf of the IDB group, we remain committed, and we congratulate the government for this vision to strengthen the productivity and the competitiveness, enhance also the institutional capacity and the research at the forefront of the sector. Developing several value chains that later will also fit the macroeconomics criteria of the country. So I would like to close this with a thought. Agricultural innovation is not just about growing more, it's about growing smarter, sustainable, and inclusively. So congratulations to NARE, to the Ministry of Agriculture, and all the stakeholders that has been involved, like Terry and other partners. Together we are planting the seed of a stronger and more resilient future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lorena. You mentioned a very critical thing that is most businesses will learn today. You can be so good, great at what you're doing, but when development comes, if you don't learn to scale, and instead of working hard, working smart, the competition will overrun you. And so this is incredibly timely because it's a really monumental boost for the other crop sector in this country. So we're going to pivot a little bit from the seriousness and the speech to a little cultural segue. We're going to listen to a calypso agriculture song by young Bill Rogers.
This song is all about agriculture. Only about a week and a half I had to write this song. So, Kaiso time, calypso. Let me see the man in here. If you love agriculture, agriculture is key. Nice. When you talk about agriculture, that's productivity, providing great service under the present ministry, ensuring great food safety, crop livestock and fishery. Agri is the key, transforming lives now in this country. To develop this nation, the key now is agriculture. Our greatest resource is the land and water. So keep on farming and cattle ranching, get the farming for a better Guyana. Hey! Ay, 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 ay. This is calypso, sweet music, man. Oh, la, 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 la. Agri plays a role in the country's economy, a key contributor in feeding a whole country. We country got oil and gas, we heading world class. All resources we get, agriculture we must not forget. To develop this nation, the key now is agriculture. The greatest resource is the land and water. Keep on farming, cattle rearing, for a brighter Guyana. The key now is what? I did good sing. I like them. Ay, 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 ay. Oh, yeah. When the snake I know they shake on my phone. Nice. Hey, ay, 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 ay. I don't plant me rice. That's how I make money. I eat poultry and I'm making chicken curry. Then I'm gonna make the cow. I get to beef somehow that you take it further, but all of that is agriculture. To develop this nation, the key now is agriculture. The greatest resource is the land and water. So continue farming, cattle rearing, for a brighter Guyana. The key now is agriculture. Thank you. Namaste. Buenos dias. All right. What? Oh, yes, she got that. Thank you.
The words that he sang were so rich with meaning, right? And you're so right. As we chase the new wealth, let's not forget the foundation. I think that was the essence of your song. Thank you so much. And now we move quickly ahead on to our next speaker, who is from the Indian High Commission to Guyana. Mr. Manoj Kumar is an officer of the Indian Foreign Service belonging to the 2011 batch. He is presently serving as the political counselor at the High Commission of India, and over the course of his diplomatic career, he has served in several important postings across the world, including Australia, Saudi Arabia, Cyprus, and Jordan, and now he's here in Guyana, and we're excited to have you give us some brief remarks today, sir. Mr. Manoj.
Honorable Mr. Zulfikar Mustapha, Minister of Agriculture, Honorable Mr. Vikas Ram Kizun, Minister within the Ministry of Agriculture, Mr. Jagnarayan Singh, CEO of NARI, Honorable PS Agriculture, Ms. Lorena, IDB, Mr. Narasimha Rao, Terry, and distinguished officials, students, ladies and gentlemen. Namaskar, good morning. It gives me great pleasure to join you all today at the commissioning of the biotechnology plant tissue culture laboratory by NARI. This event marks another important milestone in the journey of Guyana's agricultural modernization and reflects the shared commitment of India and Guyana to harness science and technology for the sustainable development. The establishment of this advanced tissue culture laboratory in association with TARI is a significant initiative. It will enable rapid propagation of high yielding and disease-free planting material, support crop diversification, and ensure greater resilience in agricultural production. Such facilities are central to achieving food security and promoting innovation-driven farming practices. I commend the Ministry of Agriculture, NARI, and all collaborating partners for their vision and commitment for this endeavor. India takes great pride in its long-standing partnership with Guyana in the agricultural sector, a partnership rooted in friendship, shared values, and mutual respect. The commissioning of this laboratory comes at a time when India is also contributing to several transformative initiatives in Guyana. Guyana's agriculture rural development landscape. I highlight a few examples here. Introduction of nano fertilizer in Guyana through the Indian innovation of nano urea, a revolutionary environment friendly fertilizer we are working together to enhance nutrient efficiency, reduce input costs, and minimize the ecological footprint of agriculture. And we, through TERI, provision of 30,000 solar home units in the remote areas, in promoting the renewable energy sector, promotion of millets. The global celebration of 2023 as an International Year of Millets, as an initiative led by India and endorsed by the United Nations, has inspired many countries, including Guyana, to reintroduce these climate resilient and nutritious grains. I am pleased to note that Guyana had achieved a bumper crop after that, demonstrating traditional wisdom and modern science can work together for food security and health. And currently there is a team from India in Guyana to finalize a $1 million grant project in food processing industry. These efforts reflect the spirit of South-South cooperation and the growing partnership between our two nations. They also complement Guyana's own ambitious vision of building a diversified, low-carbon and resilient economy. India remains a steadfast partner in Guyana's development journey, whether through capacity building under Indian Technical Economic Cooperation (ITEC) program, collaboration in renewable energy with institutions like TERI, or engagements of Indian companies in infrastructure and technology. Our engagement continues to deepen and broaden across sectors. With this I end, and I take this opportunity once again to thank Ministry of Agriculture and NARI for this great initiative. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kumar. I think the thing that stood out the most to me is when you made a comment about when you are able to bridge modern technology with traditional methods. Sometimes we feel like we have to have one or the other, or when one has to progress, the other has to die. And I really like that part of your speech. That is so incredibly true. So we're going to take another cultural segue now. Y'all enjoying the culture so far? Yes? Are you fed up? No? Don't do the next one? Okay. But we have to do it. It's not a program. But I'm very excited to welcome the One Guyana Dance Group to present to us a cultural dance.
Let's paradise, our world.
Could a Buddhist, Christian, Muslim, Hindu, sisters to sister, read and true. One big was the culture room. Another week together, the really make this dream come true. Of a brighter Guyana for me and you. Ocean to mountains, and it's true. Take it to you. We are one Guyana. Place of peace, a place of love. We are one Guyana. This paradise is our home. Love runs deep like a beautiful river for Guyana. When we stand as one united like one Guyana, for Guyana, for Guyana. Our life would be beautiful, just like Guyana. She's blessed us with her own, just in our praise her. Say, one and alone, yeah, so let's put her hands together. Give her a standing ovation, this great nation, a little gem of this world, yeah. Place of peace, a place of love. We are one Guyana. This paradise is our home. We are one Guyana. Place of peace, a place of love. We are one Guyana. This paradise is our
The One Guyana Dance Group. Such a fusion of our races and cultures, and just a good reminder that no matter how far progress may take us, we should never forget our cultural identity. And now, I would like to introduce to you our next speaker, who is our most recently minted minister within the Ministry of Agriculture, the Honorable Vikash Ramkisoon, who formerly served as the parliamentary secretary, supporting the Minister of Agriculture in his prior assignment. In September 2025, he was appointed as minister within the Ministry of Agriculture, owing to his dedication and leadership qualities. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me to welcome the Honorable Vikash Ramkisoon.
Our Director General, Mr. Danishwar Deonarain, Attorney at Law, representative of the IDB, our very dedicated son of this soil, Mr. Jo Singh, special invitees, our PS, of course, guests, and more importantly, I see a lot of students in the audience. A pleasant good morning to everyone. I wish not to be very long, but today it is indeed an honor for me to stand before you as the minister within the Ministry of Agriculture, working in tandem with our substantive minister, Minister Zulfikar Mustapha, as we commission today this new tissue culture laboratory, which is of course under the guidance of Nari and the staff. It's indeed a very transformative agenda of this government. I want to make it very simple for us to understand as we celebrate Agriculture Month under the theme Transforming Lives Through Agri-Food Systems. This, in my estimation, represents one of the best ways that we can really transform the agri-food systems, because simply what it will do, it will be giving almost 1 million plantlets to the farmers, which will then ensure that we fulfill our agenda of making Guyana not just a food secure nation, but to work on the agenda that we have with CARICOM to reduce that import bill, the food import bill, by 25% by 2025 and by extension of 2030. So, in a nutshell, what this will do is that very important crops such as pineapples, banana, breadfruit, cassava, citrus, sugarcane, and so, we will see that plantlets will be generated by 1 million in a year's time, so that our farmers can have more from the nursery, where we are now at some 20,000, we'll be able to produce almost 1 million. And so, Mr. Rao, thank you very much for the cooperation that you have with our government and with the people of Guyana. And so therefore, on behalf of the Ministry of Agriculture led by our Minister and our government headed by His Excellency the President, I thank all the stakeholders for the great work that you've been doing to make our country agriculture food secure and for us to be the regional leader in food security. I thank every one of you. Thank you very much.
That was very brief indeed. Thank you to the Honorable Vikash Ramkisoon. I was listening to the numbers just now. Those maths are staggering. That's 5 times the capacity increase. That has to be exciting. So for the farmers in the audience, who are farmers here? Raise your hands, let me see. Well, I want to celebrate you, and I'm very excited for you. I want to give you a round of applause. What about the students here? Who are students here? And I want to celebrate you as well. Great times ahead. So this is our last cultural segue, promise. So we had a calypsonian, we had a dance, and now we have a song by Mr. Calvin Burnett.
Oh, beautiful Guyana, oh, my lovely native land, more dear to me than all the world, thy seaward sun-kissed land, or down upon the borders, looking out upon the deep, the great Atlantic blown into a fury, or asleep at morn, at noon, or better in the crimson sunset's glow. I love thee, oh, I love thee. Oh, beautiful Guyana, oh, my lovely native land, more dear to me than all the world, thy seaward sun-kissed land, or down upon the borders, looking out upon the deep, the great Atlantic blown into a fury, or asleep at morn, at noon, or better in the crimson sunset's glow. I love thee, oh, I love thee, oh, I love
Wow. 2 things. My hairs were standing on end. Anybody else got like chills when he was like just belting out those decibels? And I realized I was singing these lyrics wrong the whole time. The whole time. My goodness. Thank you for the clarification, sir. You are so talented. And now to our feature address, the man of the hour, You know, everything rises and falls on leadership. You can have the greatest of vision, but if your execution doesn't follow suit, failure is imminent. And I'm so happy that this ministry is led by someone who has a passion for the mandate of this ministry. The Honorable Zulfikar Mustapha is a career politician who has dedicated his entire life serving the people of Guyana in different capacities. He served the people of Region 6 with distinction as their regional chairman, and in 2015 he became a member of parliament, where he represented the interests of every Guyanese. His love for this country was reflected in his numerous speeches and debates in National Assembly, and we know how ticklish those can be. In 2020, amidst the pandemic, he was appointed the Minister of Agriculture. And whilst many parts of the world were grappling with hunger, Minister Mustapha showed excellent leadership, and he showed what vision and leadership can do in the face of adversity. He embraced the development of the Guyana's agricultural sector, and he took on the vision of the President, Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali, of reducing the CARICOM's food import bill by 25%, as you just heard alluded to, by 2025. Only this year, in the BBC's report, Guyana was touted as the only country that is self-sufficient in food production. So it was no surprise when he was reappointed as minister in the 2025 elections. I think we can agree that he's doing a very excellent job, all right? I've known him for a very long time, and I know he can be ruthless in his leadership sometimes, but one thing I know is he loves the people of this country and he loves what he does. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me to welcome the Honorable Zulfikar Mustapha.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. I want to recognize the important person who are here, and everyone who are here are important. And I want to begin with our hard-working farmers. So raise your hand. Yeah, you have a lot of farmers there. And you know, all of us depend on them to feed our country and make Guyana self-sufficient. Also, we have our young people who will be inheriting this facility that we are commissioning here this morning. And I want to say that this facility that we are commissioning here will truly make your studies becomes reality, where you will be moving out from the classroom in doing the theoretical work that you have been doing over the years to come here to see what practical works entails and what, when you enhance science, you have good results. Also, my cabinet colleague, Minister Vikash Ram Kisoon, representative from the Indian High Commission, my good friend from the IDB, PS Director General, Major General Joe Singh and his team, who helped me manage this place very effectively. And I want to tell you, when I became Minister of Agriculture, I had a chat with Major General at that time. And he asked me, say, you want me to continue to be the chairman? I said, yes. And from 2020, when I became the minister, he was appointed the chairman, or he continues to be the chairman. But with good coordination and communication, today, as the chairperson rightly said, that Nari, we are seeing a transformation taking place in our country, but also we are seeing a transformation taking place in the various institutions of the Ministry of Agriculture. And that tells us a story, because this institution here is our premier research institution. And what we are doing here this morning, we are now one step in further modernizing this institution. 2 weeks ago, we commissioned, you heard the chairman in his opening remarks, said that we commissioned the vermicompost lab, then the Akushi Ants Bait lab, and a number of other facilities we are commissioning. So I'm very happy that we are here this morning to commission this lab, this tissue culture lab. And it gives me great pleasure to join every one of you this morning for the commissioning of this very important project, the Biotechnology Plant Tissue Culture Laboratory. This here is a landmark achievement in Guyana's ongoing journey towards agricultural modernization, resilience, and innovation. Madam Chair alluded to the fact that we are increasing the amount of plantlets that we normally produce annually. Well, I want to tell you, the farmers, you should be very excited here this morning, excited that we are moving to increase the number of plantlets that we have been producing annually by 50 times. Imagine that, 50 times, 1 million plantlets. That's a tremendous achievement. And when you look at what we have now, we have 11 plant nurseries across this country. And many times, whenever you have official visit these nurseries, you will hear that it needs to be upgraded. We need to ensure that we have better production coming out of these nurseries. Many times the chairman would call me and tell me that, look, we need to upgrade. And we had this vision, and you know for a fact that we have a leader, our president, who is very passionate about this sector. We are now rapidly developing our oil and gas sector. We are having revenue coming in the country so that we can modernize the other sectors across our country. But remember, agriculture is a sector that no country should ever neglect. It's one of the most, or if not the most important sector in our country. And all of you will agree with me because it's responsible for the production of food. It's responsible for food security. And we have seen what has happened around the world when we had the pandemic. Many countries that had large economies, large revenues, large income, financially stable economies were unable to provide food for the population because what? There was a downturn in production, and people around the world, countries around the world that used to produce food, were producing food for their population. Even superpower were unable to provide certain types of food. But our country, Guyana, has been leading the charge. And I want to say I'm very happy. It was mentioned by the chair that 2020, when I became Minister of Agriculture, and many of you all who are here in this audience would know that Guyana, since the formation of CARICOM, always lead in food security and agriculture. Since the time of President Forbes Burnham. But it seems that we had lost that place from 2015 to 2020. Because when I became Minister of Agriculture, and CARICOM wanted to craft a food strategy for CARICOM, it was led by St. Vincent and the Grenadines. They said they were dealing with agriculture and food security in CARICOM. And we set about in 2020 that we have to not only reclaim that position, but make Guyana the #1 food producing country in the region. And I can remember vividly in 2021, I accompanied His Excellency to the CARICOM Heads of Government meeting in Belize. And at that meeting, our President laid out a strategy how we will arrest or how we will continue to make CARICOM a food secure region. He showed at that meeting what has to be done, and he also showed how we can achieve the outcome. We just heard Madam Chair talk about Guyana is the only country in the world that is food secure in terms of can produce all the food for its population. But when you look today in this hemisphere, in the Caribbean region, we have moved tremendously. And we have moved not because people wish that we want to move, because of the strategy that we have been adopting. The plans and programs. And since His Excellency has taken up that responsibility of leading CARICOM in agriculture and food security, not only Guyana, but across the region, we have seen a renewed interest in agriculture. Countries whose economy were built on oil and gas, and you know many countries in the Caribbean, their economy is solely based on tourism. They are now fully embrace agriculture. We have seen places like Barbados, Trinidad and Tobago, and almost the entire Eastern Caribbean. They are now looking forward to Guyana for that guidance and that leadership. That tells us a story that we have a vision, Guyana has a vision, and Guyana's vision is being adopted by the entire region. All of us should be proud of that vision that have developed by His Excellency. So today marks another proud milestone in Guyana agricultural transformation. A day that symbolizes partnership, progress, and people-centered development. This new facility represents far more than the building that we are seeing in front of us, bricks, glass, and equipment. It embodies our commitment to science-driven agriculture, our dedication to food security, and our determination to ensure that Guyana remains a regional leader in sustainable agricultural development. In today's world, agriculture is no longer just about planting and harvesting. Our farmers must know these things. Because sometimes we want to use 10, 15 years techniques to get different results now. We have to change the way we are doing things. And we have to ensure that we bring into practice innovation, sustainability, precision. Those are things that will help us to have better yield and increase production. As the global population rises and climate change threatens productivity, we must turn to biotechnology and research-based solutions to secure our nation's food future. This tissue culture laboratory, developed in collaboration with TERI of India, and we heard financed through the IDB under the Sustainable Agriculture Development Program, is designed to produce, as I said, 50 times more plantlets that we are producing now. Presently, we are producing 15,000. And we're moving from 15,000 to 1 million. It's a giant leap. Through this facility, NARI will be able to produce disease-free. Imagine that. You know, only this week has been observed as Pesticide Awareness Week. And many farmers would agree with me that many times they experience serious problems in their crops. This tissue culture lab will produce disease-free, high-quality planting material at scales rapidly multiply key crops, and we heard the various crops: plantain, banana, cassava, sweet potato, pineapple, and citrus. And these crops, we want to reduce the food import bill. CARICOM want to reduce the food import bill by 25% by the end of 2030. And these are the priority crops that we have developed at the ministerial task force. You know, in CARICOM, at that meeting in Belize that I mentioned earlier, the heads of government set up a ministerial task force with all the agriculture ministers in CARICOM. It's in that task force, and that task force is being chaired by Guyana. And we are moving very rapidly and aggressively to reduce this food import bill by 25%. It should be of 25 by 2025, but it's now 25 by 2025 plus 5, because we want all the countries in CARICOM to ensure that they produce the target. And we are moving very rapidly because in anticipation of that food reduction bill by 25% by the year 2030, we are hoping that we can reduce the food import bill of CARICOM in dollars in about $2 billion US. But that slack has to be taken in. That countries in the Caribbean has to take in that slack that will be created by the reduction of $2 billion US. But how that will be taken up, we have to plan for that. And what we have, young Bill Rogers just sung about two of the greatest assets that we have in this country: arable land and fresh water. Our brothers and sisters in the Caribbean, many of them don't have that. Today, as we are speaking here, our prayers are with Jamaica. Last night only I spoke to my counterpart in Jamaica, assuring him of our support. But as we are now in Guyana here, speaking and commissioning a laboratory, tissue-culture laboratory, they are experiencing one of the worst disasters, one of the worst hurricanes. We will need to help. So in anticipation of that reduction of the food import bill, and what we have, abundant fresh water, flat and arable land, and if we could harness those things properly, and that means harnessing with technology and funding, then Guyana will be one of the most exciting places in food production. And we are about to reach that because as a government, you have to have a vision. And we have seen the vision of His Excellency the President. And that is why we are commissioning and modernizing this sector. Gone are the days when we have to go to the back dam and do the rice field how they used to do it when our foreparents came here. Gone are the days also where we have to go out in open field, plant our plants that has been threatened by the elements, the heavy rainfall or drought. We are constantly modernizing this agriculture, this sector since 2020. I have mentioned a few projects that we have commissioned. But as the years goes on, you will see massive transformation taking place in this sector. We are now embracing, and when you look around the country today, there are thousands of shade houses farmers are cultivating under. They could control the element, they could control the sunlight, they could control the rainfall or the water irrigation to their crops. They can culture the crop how they want it under the shade house. But we have moved more aggressively too, and more advanced. And as I am speaking here, right at Manripo, we have the largest hydroponics farm in the Caribbean, right here at Victoria Green. And that has been commissioned 2 years ago. We have production now that are coming out there that's supplying the local supermarkets. But besides that, we have also built another 3 of those hydroponics farms in region 2, 5, and 10. What our mission is to ensure that we modernize this sector. That is why the demands for planting material will become more and more, that we are now developing these facilities. Those 11 nurseries that I talk about that produce 15,000 plantlets, sometimes when you go there, you don't have the required number of plants. Our farmers go to a plant nursery and they want 100 plants, they don't have it at one time. They have to go a number of other times. Now you can come here. Our NARI will have those plants available. High yielding plant, pest free. So these are plants that will increase our yield, that will be more resilient, that will be more productive for us. And as I said, that you have to prepare, or we have to prepare for what will be happening in the future. A government that doesn't prepare and think that as tomorrow's come, we will face it, doesn't have a future. But you have to prepare for years to come. What will be the outcome? How you will have this sector, the main and most important sector in our country, make it more resilient. Ensure that we prepare the future generation. And what we have done, we have looked around the Caribbean and looked around the world. There is a serious problem with young people being involved in agriculture. And we saw that 2 years ago. And because of that, we have formed a company. His Excellency, the President, has formed a company called the Agriculture Innovation Entrepreneurship Program. There are some of the students here. Now in that company, we have over 400 young people. They are shareholders of this company. They are producing their own crops. They are making their own profits. And they are receiving dividend at the end of the year. That is the empowerment that we are talking about. But besides that, if you look around Guyana today, there are hundreds of young people who would have passed through the Guyana School of Agriculture and the University of Guyana having a degree, certificate, diplomas, and they were doing clerical work. Today, when you look at the farming population, there are many young people who are making their livelihood out of agriculture because they have been trained to do agriculture and the government is giving them that support. I told my colleague that I couldn't be too long because we had a lot of speeches. But I want to make these important points. That this project that we are commissioning is part of our government's broader vision to promote sustainable agriculture development across our country. As I said, agriculture remains a cornerstone of our non-oil economy, contributing significantly to our GDP, creating jobs and strengthening food security. This tissue culture lab is more, as I said, than just a physical building. We will see that this here will transform our agriculture sector. And in anticipation for us as a country to be ready to make the greatest contribution in taking in the slacks that will be created by reducing the food import bill by 2030, we are currently building a food hub on the Linden-Soesdijk Highway at Yarrow Cabra. We have signed a contract with Bloomberg Grain, who will be doing the cold storage facilities. And as I'm speaking now, the physical building is going up. So by mid next year, we'll have a food hub. And we can't have a food hub without producing the food. That is why we are now creating and the investment, making the investment in these important infrastructure. So when the time comes, we will be prepared to supply the region in the prioritized items that were developed by the Ministerial Task Force. You know, discussion is taking place at the CARICOM level, where a ferry service will commence firstly between Trinidad, Tobago and Barbados, and then in the entire CARICOM region. Because logistics and transportation costs is too high for us to export our produce. If you want to go to Barbados, you have to go up till in Miami and bring back your produce to Barbados. Or you want to go to Antigua, the same route. But with a ferry service that will commence shortly, we have already, work have started at our port facility at Parika, where that service, as His Excellency the President said, will commence from. We have started massive work going on there. So Guyana as a country, we are preparing for the future. We are preparing to ensure that agriculture remain one of our most important sectors. So agriculture remain the cornerstone of our economy. So today I am very happy that we are commissioning this lab. We heard also, Terry will tell you, that a few years back, that the Vice President was in India and he had discussion on this subject and the nano fertilizer. Last week we commissioned the nano fertilizer at Burma, and that will be a game changer for the agriculture sector, especially the rice industry. Now we are commissioning the tissue culture lab, where we'll produce annually a million plantlets with different types, pest resistance, disease resistance. So you could see that we are transforming and modernizing this important sector. I want to acknowledge the support over the years of Terry, the IDB, the Indian High Commissioner. But besides that, my good friend, I'm now seeing Mr. Wilmot Garnett, the head of ICA in Guyana. ICA has been a very important partner to us too, and they have been working very closely with us. We are now working to develop our cocoa and coffee industry once again. And CARDI, the FAO, the World Bank, and other agencies that have been working closely with the Ministry of Agriculture. I want to extend also our thanks and appreciation to the chairman and his board of directors and the staff of NARI for ensuring that they carry out the policies of our government. As we move forward, we will ensure that young scientists and technicians are trained in tissue culture methods. Farmers are sensitized to the benefit of tissue culture plants. You know why I mention this? I mention this is very important to our farmers. I said earlier that sometimes our farmers want to do things how they used to do it 20 years ago. We have to change our culture. We have to change the way we do things. And that is why I'm saying now that the whole education, NARI, the extension officer, will ask the chairman to also, when he has his board meeting, to ensure that they discuss this and come up with some recommendation to me, how we will use the extension officers more effectively to sensitize and benefit the farmers in tissue culture, of tissue culture plants. Protocols are developed to scale up production of high demand crop, including those that I talk about that we want to export. So these are very, very important infrastructure that we are building in our country. We are preparing our country for the future. We are not putting all our eggs in one basket and saying that all the revenue will be coming from the oil and gas sector. We still recognize that agriculture is very important for us, not only for our country's food security, but to ensure that it brings in revenue into our country. A government that has vision will invest in every sector. And when you look at the investment that are being made now, you could look at it: health, housing, education, and I can go on and talk about the various sectors. But agriculture, which is more important for us for survival, you are seeing the investment that the government is making. We have moved the agriculture budget from $13 billion in 2020 to $104 billion in 2025. And that will only get better. We'll see more investment. We are modernizing our D&I sector. We are building Hope-like canals, the high-level canals in regions 3, 5, and 6, where we want the water to run directly into the Atlantic Ocean rather than to come through the drainage and irrigation canals to put stress on those systems. Those are the planning and vision that we have. So the commissioning of this laboratory is a testament to what we can achieve when partnership align with purpose and when government's policy focuses on people. This is not merely an investment in agriculture. It is an investment in our farmers, in our food system, and in the future of our nation. Let us continue to work together, hand in hand, to build a modern, sustainable, and inclusive agriculture sector for all Guyanese. May this plant tissue culture lab serve as a beacon of growth, opportunities, and resilience for many years to come. With great pride and optimism for the future, I now declare the NARI Biotechnology Plant Tissue Culture Laboratory official open. Thank you very much.